Hello everyone! Today we are going to learn 3 things you didn't know about PostgreSQL indexes. This is the first video in our YouTube channel, and our mission is to simplify the backend world for you. Let's start. The first point is that index has a price. You may ask yourself, if index is so good and make my queries much faster, why not to add an index for every foreign key you use in your table? Why PostgreSQL or any other relational database didn't add it by default? I mean, like when you add foreign key, it adds index in the same operation. And the reason for that is that when you have an index in your table, you will add additional operations for every update query you do and every insert query you do. These operations are going to create the index and to maintain it in order to fetch the results faster. So on one hand, you will receive select queries much faster, but on the other hand, your update and insert are going to be much slower. So you need to consider using index when your table change often and you do a lot of update and inserts. Let's continue to the second point. Partial indexes. Let's say we have in our database a table of orders that has ID, encoded ID, date, and a Boolean column named isPaid that indicates if the order is paid or not. And now you want to create new API that will present all the paid orders, and the most of your orders are not paid yet. What you are going to do? You can create something called partial index. What does it mean? Partial index is an index that will run only if the condition is met. In our example, the condition is paid needs to be true. Partial indexes are very beneficial when you deal with big tables or big scale, and you don't want to add the overload for every update or every insert you do at your table. The third point. Adding index locks the table. But before we dive in, we need to understand what is a lock. The definition of lock is a mechanism that enforces limits on access to a resource. Let's try to understand it with an example. Let's say that you have on your production environment a huge table with millions of entities. And now you want to add an index to this specific an existing table, and you decide to write a migration for that, and the day came, and now you want to run the migration and end the index for this table. What is going to happen? When you start the migration, your table will be locked. What does it mean? It means that every update and every insert you are going to do in the time the migration is running will not be done. This means that if the migration will take 2 hours, you cannot do any update or any insert to the table at this time. So what's the solution for that? PostgreSQL suggests something called concurrently index. This means that if you want to add an index and while the migration is running, if the table encounters any update or any insert, it will stop, it will perform the update and index, and will return back to the migration. And this delay will make the concurrently index much slower, and the migration may take longer. Okay, my friends, thank you very much. This was our first video, and see you soon.